This entire video is one experiential activity that is going to teach you how to use an I statement and the benefits of using I statements. And the way that we're going to do this is by getting you to translate you statements into I statements. Don't worry if you don't know what an I statement is or if you're a bit rusty on how they work. You're going to be an expert by the time this video is over. I'm going to coach you one step at a time until you nail it. So go grab pen and paper and get ready to start thinking I statements. If you leave any of your I statements in the comments below, I will be sure to comment and give you any feedback that I can. Alright, so step one, the first you statement you're going to translate into an I statement is coming up. But first, I want to give you the foundations of an I statement just in case you're not sure. The fundamentals of an I statement are I feel when. That's all I'm giving you, and maybe in the next round I'll give you a bit more, but for now you just need to think about I feel when. Alright, so the you statement that you are going to turn into an I statement is you never do the dishes, I do all the cooking, I do all the cleaning, and the least you could do is wash the pans once in a while. So hit pause and rewrite this as an I statement, and I will see you in a second when you're done. All right, welcome back. So we discussed that the basic components of an I statement are I feel when, and I think a decent answer might be I feel frustrated when you don't help out around the house. Or perhaps something like I feel angry when I have to tidy up after you. Both of these are very adequate, fine I statements, okay? So if you've got anything like this, you're a winner. I feel statements are designed so that they decrease defensiveness in the other person. So you're keeping it about your feelings versus them. And that gives you more of a chance of saying what you need to without it escalating into a conflict, because the other person gets defensive when you start using you statements. You statements are a bit of an attack, to be honest. So if you got anything like my examples, you are winning, unless, there's a big caveat here, unless you put the word that after I feel. If you did that, I am sorry, but you are unfortunately up for elimination this week, and you may not win the title of America's Next Top I Statement User. This is because there's a 95% probability that you are not describing a feeling or using a feelings word, and instead you're giving a thought. The word that instantly changes the sentence from a feeling into a thought. So something like I feel that you don't help out enough is a thought. It might describe a feeling, sure, but it's technically a thought and not a feeling. If you think about I feel that you are wrong, not a feeling, it's also a thought. And the thing that gives it away is that word that. So if you put a feelings word right after feel, you are winning. I'm going to give you one more tip. If you had a feelings word that has something to do with anger, irritability, frustration, you're not necessarily wrong, and you don't lose any points, and you're not up for elimination. But I do want to encourage you to go deeper than anger. Anger is a primary emotion. That means you feel it first, and that there's often other feelings underneath it. I encourage you to take another stab at the I statement if you have anger as the feeling. Okay, go deeper. Are you ready for round two now? Okay, so far we know an I statement consists of I feel, when, and now we're going to add another element, because. So the format is now I feel, when, and because. And the because should link behaviors to feelings. Here is the second you statement you're about to turn into an I statement, and now you know that there's three components to it. Here's the you statement. You never do anything fun with me. Hit pause, get writing, and I'll see you in a second. Are you ready to see if you've made it through to the next round? Here's an answer that I made, and you can decide if yours is better or worse. I feel sad when we don't change our routine because it feels boring doing the same thing all the time. Now, This is not a horrible I statement. Sad is definitely better than leading with anger. But top tip number 2 here, the because part is your chance to be vulnerable. This is where you can really try and make an emotional connection with the person that you're talking to by taking a risk, being vulnerable. So I'm going to amend it to I feel when, because, with vulnerability. So another version might be I feel sad when we don't change our routine because I miss having fun with you and feeling connected to you. This is just a little bit more vulnerable than the first one and has a better chance of making an impact. And that's what I statements are all about. You're trying to reach someone emotionally. This is the final round, and we're going to add one more step to the I statement format, bringing you to an Olympic level status. So far, we've got I feel when, because, with vulnerability, and now we're going to add a need or a want. This turns it from a complaint into a request. And because you're using an I statement, you're not making an accusation, you're not making anyone feel defensive. And because you've just been vulnerable with the because section, you have a much better chance of getting your needs met. So this is the final statement, and if you've made it this far, you are a total champion in my opinion. Okay, here it is. You never tell me how you're feeling. This is a tough one, but I have faith in you. So hit pause, let's go, and I'll see you on the other side. Welcome back. This is the ultimate test to see if you can come up with an I statement that has all of the components that we've talked about already. Some vulnerability, and now a need. So remember, if you leave this as a comment below, I'll happily give you some feedback. And here is my answer. I feel lonely when you don't share how you're feeling, because I miss you when you become more distant. Can we find time this week to talk about what's going on? Quite like the answer I came up with. I was really going for the I miss you vibe because it's a plea to reconnect. And remember, I statements are all about trying to connect with someone and repair something or feel closer. I would love to see what you got for it. So leave a comment in the sections below and I'll get back to you. And there is a guide to I statements on mypeoplepatterns.com/conflict.